Okay, we're official now. Namaste, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And so great to see everyone. Love that we're gathering. And I wanted to address a wonderful inquiry of how to get unstuck negative subconscious feelings, how to get unstuck from those negative subconscious feelings, so we can pursue more of a positive conscious thoughts that of course lead to a more peaceful life and peaceful journey. So this, Freud's iceberg, I like to think as yogis, we're not just 10% above in our conscious self and 90% in that subconscious terrain. I like to believe there's a little bit more a lot more consciousness there. But needless to say, there is subconscious that's, of course, moving through our being. And yoga is such a phenomenal tool to allow us to bring that subconscious into the light of day. So the easy answer to that, and it's not an easy answer, it's our inquiry for, I believe, the rest of our life to practice is to move into the upper chakras. And yoga is a lot about that, and psychology will help us to move from our, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and actually inquire into those, ask certain questions about those. Oops, here we go. I'm going to let some people in as we move along here. And the practice that we'll do today, we will be, bringing the energy up into the heart, into the higher chakras. Welcome, welcome. And moving that in and through. And then when we inevitably get moods and feelings that aren't that helpful, we want to inquire. We want to be aware of it. And we want to ask, are my thoughts helpful? I mean, it sounds so obvious, but we want to catch those, and the negative ones probably aren't. And so in psychology, there's so many things to do with that. We'll just take one strategy today. We want to write down those thoughts that are unhelpful. And we want to, of course, put in a thought that is more helpful and write it down, ground it on physical paper. You may even draw it, and if you're artistically inclined, you don't have to be an artist. It could be a very simple, but that may be your medium if drawing is more but you want to either write or draw to ground the new helpful thought. And for, I just pulled this off the I hope you could see it. There are two cats, okay? One's more peaceful and one's a little bit stressed out, okay? They're both in lotus pose, but you can have an image to remind you that that's the direction I'm moving toward. But again, in psychology, it's in and through. We have to go through a little bit of a workout to get to the higher thought. Yoga has a lot of techniques. Chanting is half the battle, singing. I'm going to repeat some of these because they're worthwhile. Environment is a big part of it, who we surround ourselves with. All these things are really important. And karma yoga is all about the actions we do, whatever we're doing, we're seeing as that the higher self is doing that, or the divine is activating through us. We're not the doer. We're not the limited ego doer. And it is much better when we have feelings of just flow and higher self moving through us. So I hope that, it's a big topic. It's a big subject. It's the rest of our lives. If you choose to work on this in a beautiful way, this is what we're moving to. Upward climbs the living tree, up into our higher chakras. But it is a process. So we'll begin with our breath work. I'll scoot back a little bit. Everybody's on. Welcome, welcome. Great. Okay. And, that's a quick answer to a deep and powerful question. You also want to ask, do I like my behavior when I have these thoughts? Do I like my behavior when I have these thoughts? Probably not. Sometimes they stay in the thinking realm, but sometimes we act those out. And then we also want to say, well, what would be a better behavior, right? Thought, feeling, behavior, the CBT triangle. Let me move this out of the way. As we begin our breath practice, consciously tuning in. This is a really important welcoming stage of coming to our practice today and allowing everything that's here to be here, just sensing and feeling, closing your eyes. Just hear the sound of the breath now. Inviting a softening on the exhale, the shoulders, the eyes, the jaw. And come into the center of your body. We're going to do a full yogic breathing. On your next inhale, allow the belly to expand, the ribs to open, the heart to expand, and soft focus at the spiritual eye. And then as you exhale, reversing from the heart to the belly to the feet. So you just go at your own pace. If you want more calming, you're going to lengthen the exhale, more balanced, equal inhale, equal exhale. So first stage, just tuning into what's here. Notice the quality of the state of the physical body. Notice how the psychological self is right now. It will shift as we move up the living tree, up into the upper chakras, but we also want to see if the thoughts or feelings, or if there's anything we need to know there. We're not going to unpack everything, but we're going to see if there's something that's maybe you're grappling with, that's been coming up for you. Sometimes the same situation repeats itself with that person or that family member. Keeps arising. And we're creating space there. We're going to unstick the stuckness. And we are moving to wholeness. We're returning to what's already whole, pure awareness, already whole, already free, already aware. But it is here, it is already here, but sometimes we have to remind ourselves to come back. Oftentimes we do. And thank goodness for practices to do that. So bringing the hands into the heart, and we'll do the breath of joy, exhaling, rounded spine, press the palms away from you, tuck the chin to the hollow of the throat, back of the heart opening, inhale, sweeping the arms up, soften those shoulders down, and then exhale, feel the space all around you. Release the hands behind you, lift the heart. My thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky. So that upward affirmation, that upward expansion. And then we exhale, we draw back in again, the yin phase, exhaling. Now, one of the, so many great yoga poses, but many of our favorites is a twist, because we're literally twisting the stuckness out. So what I want you to do is bend that left knee and bring the right foot either in front of the shin or outside of the thigh, and think of something that may be, stuck, it keeps looping, it keeps coming back. Okay, a thought, situation and the things that go on with it. Be a feeling that usually begins with a thought. And we're going to, as we twist, we're going to bring our left hand by the knee. We can either hug it or bring it on the outside, the right hand behind us. We're literally going to twist and feel that in the entire spine, but especially the heart. We're squeezing out the unstuckness about this thought, feeling, experience. Inhale, coming back 3/4 of the way. Continue to squeeze out not only the tension in the body, but that psychological things that keeps coming up. So for everybody, it's different. Exhale. Breathe it out. And then inhale, coming back. Take a moment if you can, knee on top of knee. Or if that's uncomfortable, just regular crossed at the ankles. Then we're going to breathe. We're going to inhale and adabandha, meaning at the root chakra, we're going to gently squeeze at the perineum and let the energy draw up into, as you inhale, draw up into the heart. Hold the breath for a moment and then exhale, begin to soften. Begin to let go. And we'll do this a couple more times. So we'll consciously breathe at the bandha, at the root lock, at the between the pubic bone, right at the base, and squeeze there. And the tailbone, tense, 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 gently. And then exhale, feel that letting go. And then this takes some psychological work, so you may not get it right away, but we're inquiring as we move to the other side. What do we want? What's a more helpful thought? What's a more helpful experience about this situation? Okay, so take a moment there. Bring the left knee up, and we're going to twist and breathe in that more helpful thought. We can write it down later. Inhale, coming back. And as we twist, chin parallel, feel the heart energy, front, back, and sides of the heart, navel to the spine. Be that more helpful, balanced thought about XYZ that's coming up for you. And of course, the goal is in that more balanced thought. I know you can do work on this later. It's not coming right now. Maybe you're not grappling with something right now. Just enjoy that spaciousness as we come back. And let yourself breathe. Go a little bit wider with the feet if you're doing this one, or the classic cross at the ankles. So let that more helpful, balanced thought permeate all the cells of the body as you do the full yogic breath. Belly expand. There's a gentle Mula Bandha coming into the heart center. That's the key. Any of the upper chakras, spiritual eye, crown. And then feel that more helpful, balanced thought that there's your higher guidance, your higher wisdom is helping you return to that more wisdom aspect of ourselves that's there. It's our personal ego self that gets stuck at times. Then we go higher, literally higher. We breathe in and through. We take in through the lower chakras, into the upper chakras, into the spiritual high crown. Whatever that concept is for you, let that higher guidance pour through and stay in. Not only stabilize, but inspire you into a more balanced thinking, more balanced, which will create more balanced feeling, which will get us unstuck and more congruent behavior that the divine is moving through us. We're letting go of these layers of the personal, only ego identified self. Okay. And we're going to get Now onto our back. And if you want a blanket, go ahead for padding. I'm going to keep this out to the side for now. And we're going to ripple down. You're going to do that cat-cow for a moment, lifting the heart up. And keep your left straight shoulders down. Exhale, round its spine. And one more time. Inhale, lift up, energy flowing up. Thoughts and energy rise upward to touch the sky. As we exhale, low, mid, upper back, shimmy, shake down. I'm just going to check the computers for a moment before I come on to the back. Very good. As we come on to the back, we can't help but just want to do these egg beaters of bringing the knees out to the side, inner borders of the feet stay together, 3 times in one direction, and then 3 times in its opposite. Okay. And we do a pelvic arc and curl. So you're still on your back. I'm just scoot down a little bit. Large toes turn in, hands on the belly. Lots of emotions here. So we're going to draw the sacrum into the earth, let the belly expand. And then exhale, navel to the spine. Do this 3 more times. Inhale, arcing. Exhale, either through the nose or through the mouth if there's more holding that you may feel just, sometimes it feels like we're being hijacked. We're not sure where these emotions and moods are coming from. And that's a more subconscious terrain. So we can just literally start to blow out if we're not connecting to anything, just that release breath. Okay. Inhale. Sometimes it's harder not to identify what it is. That creates some funky feeling. Exhale. Well, we're moving it through. That's the key. Moving it through. And then we're doing our opposites, helping our brain get balanced and our body get balanced. Knees in line with the hips, flex through the heels, and the arms reach up, palms together, shoulders plug in, right arm behind, left heel taps. Try not to lift that right leg high. And then we're just switching. Exhale, left arm, right heel. The key is keeping the low back plugged in. So as that right arm, left heel touches, if it doesn't touch, if your low back's popping off the floor, don't bring that heel down as far. Much more important, the core engagement as we exhale. Just think opposite arm, opposite leg, low back plugged in. You may feel your core starting to shake a little bit. And just know the brain is coming back into balance by working the opposites. We do want to embrace paradox. That's part of working with the subconscious terrain, coming to that opposites, meeting one another, and then coming to a neutrality. One more time. Ooh, yeah. All right, knees in, rocking side to side. In Northern California here, we're having this pause between the rain, which we just so need, and this, what's it called, this atmospheric rivers coming in tomorrow or Sunday, a lot of rain. So we have this pause. Okay, we're going to do a crisscross of our legs like this, okay? And then make sure you have space, because then we're going to go in to extended leg pose on our back. Okay, so arms down, keep the back plugged in. You're going to do this several rounds, 8 times. So we're just switching. You can exhale through the mouth. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then into a V. Okay, coming back up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, V. And again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, V. This time we're walking our hands to the thighs or the calves, and we're going to rock side to side, getting our hamstrings open even more, and releasing our low back. Okay, and fun. Laughter breaks the stuckness too. Okay, bending the knees, so many ways, singing, circling again. And then from here, we're gonna, if your spine's okay, we're gonna rock and roll. Let's do this, bringing our legs back a little bit more, 4 times, ironing out the spine. And then coming up, and this is a different one. I try to bring a couple different ones in every week. For the core, it's going to seem hopefully fun. The palms face one another. It's better. And what we're going to do is move that right cheek back, then left cheek. So we're going to go, and the arm follows naturally. Go exhale, 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 exhale. As you're coming back, and then you come forward, just let the breath flow 4 times, okay? And then backwards 4 times. And then forward. There we go. Hopefully having fun with this. A little bit like, I'm kind of rowing, I guess, as we put our legs in our much more active here. 4 times, and then forward. 2, 1. Yay, body. Thank you, body. Moving the cheeks side to side. You can sit on a blanket if you like. Paschimottanasana. Hands to the heart. Tapping into the spiritual eyes. Energy rising up through the crown. And then exhale, hinging forward. First with a straight spine. You can use a strap. Hands on the shin if you like. Lengthen and grow. May always try to have your block and your strap ready before by the side of your mat before class. And then exhale, we soften. We let go. Every exhale, we're melting the upper body forward, but it's deeper than a physical stretch. Again, we're bowing to the wisdom of our heart. We're allowing the mind that's just popping with these buzzing bee thoughts and going all over the place. We're letting those buzzing bees just kind of return to the honey of the heart. Opening to the wisdom self. Returning to pure awareness. There's practices where we're witnessing our body, our thoughts. That's called witnessing awareness. We're witnessing that ability to step back and not be just caught in the self, the ego self. Witness the sensations in the body as we inhale. But then there's pure awareness. Pure awareness is the wholeness, the innateness that we know is true. We want to live in, we want to be in all the time. I hear you. I hear you. Fingertips face forward, bend the knees. A little different. You can either roll up like we classically do. This, if your hips are okay, if your knees are okay, cross at the ankles and see if you can lift the hips up. And if your neck's okay, the head goes back. And a couple breaths here. And a little different than how I usually do certain poses or certain poses presented that we haven't done before. And then sitting back down, if you're doing this one, we're all going to meet rolling onto the balls of the feet, walking the hands forward, and coming into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. So just allowing the
feet to go hip width apart, slight bend of the knees, resting the palms at the hollows of the elbows, shaking the head gently. Again, that blood flow to the brain as we literally let those buzzing bee thoughts just soften, relaxing and casting aside any mental burdens, realizing we're not this separate, limited doer. We are pure, unlimited, potent being. The separation causes the suffering. Okay. Bending the knees, shaking it out, coming up, or straight spine coming up. As we inhale, we're going to rise up. Come off of the heels. And feel the space all around us. And our mountain pose. Take a moment, root down, and then draw the energy up, move Bandha up through the heart, chin parallel, open through the crown, open, and returning to our true self. Already whole, already free. The ego is just used to, it's a lot of just patterning and familiarization of getting the job done by the separate self. So we want to go into awareness of our larger self in our practices, and of course in our cold light of day, remembering who we truly are. Bringing the hands to the heart, namaste. And we can bring others to our practice as well. Of course, that's a great way to get out of ourselves, helping others. Service is a big part of yoga and many traditions, of course, bhakti yoga, selfless service. That idea of selfless service as whatever we're doing, it's just easier when we literally do for others. It's just more, there's more context there, but that same feeling we want to cultivate. Tapping into the spiritual eye, tapping into the crown, lengthening and growing at the back bend, exhale. Without collapsing into the lumbar, keep the heart lifting up, more dynamic standing pose flow here as we exhale, hinging forward. Inhale, heart lifts, head elongates to the front of the mat, full body stretch, downward facing dog. Let's luxuriate in this. Step it back. Dread it out, magnetize the heart toward the thighs. And just feel that calm energy radiating through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. If you want to start to add a little bit of a hip circle here or stay stable, you decide. And your full downward facing dog. Make small circles with the head or stable. And then we come into our plank. So we come into our strength plank. Don't collapse the head or belly. Let's add a push-up halfway. Pulse up if you can. And then a knee, chest, chin, puppy pose. Hairline touches. And then coming onto our forearms. Let's turn this way, onto our forearms. So we stretch it out. Oh. And engage the legs, and we're going to bring those elbows out to the side as we circle into the shoulder joints, the scapula. We're going to do some deep work in the shoulders here soon. Yes. And we're going to rise up into Bhujangasana. So cobra pose. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale here, or the knees off. Lion's breath. Stick out the tongue, eye gaze up. All the chakras open, especially the throat. And again. And the knees touch down, and we're going to keep flowing into our rounded cat. So we'll do our rounded cat. Exhale. Inhale, scooping out. Look over one shoulder, see that you may not see that outer hip, that's okay. And then go into the other side. And then back to the center. Now, as we lift off the knees, take your time to hover for strength, full body strength. As we pour back to our full body stretch. And then let's add that breath of fire. Let's add 10 Kapalabhatis, exhaling through the nostrils, navel to the spine. Vigorous. Slow it down. And then looking at the, stepping one foot forward, then the other, stepping one hand back, then walking back, back. And we love to massage the scalp. And then awake my brain, be wise, be strong. Awake my brain, be wise, be strong. Go for the higher thinking. Okay, and then we're going to bend the knees. We're going to come up in the chair. So that means the arms come back and the arms sweep up. And remember, we've been doing this now. We can chop through if we catch a emotion that's funky, that's difficult. Even sometimes we want to be tender to it, process through it. Other times we just want to slice it out. So insecurity, right? Ha! Releasing it, whatever it is for you. What are we bringing in? More of that deep security, deep alignment, and then that ha, and slicing out the insecurity, really just cutting through certain emotions that we don't want to, they're just not the process in and through kind of emotions. They're just funky moods that arise. Inhale, coming up, and one more time. Hope that makes sense, slicing through. So some of them are softer, some of them need more process in and through. We're going to reach up and we're going to feel the space all around us, as well as within us. Turning the palms upward, thumb, index finger together. Mountain pose. And our individual self in union, yoga, communion with our higher self. That's the art of yoga. It's this individual ego self receiving our natural, whole, pure awareness self, whatever you call that, divine, higher consciousness, universal love. Coming back into the heart. It could be very simple. We come back into the heart. And again, not the emotional heart, although emotions are there, the spiritual heart. Okay, as promised, a little Garudasana, Gomukhasana variation here, or Gomukhasana with our shoulders. So it is helpful to have a scarf or a strap when we do this. So I'm going to bring our left elbow tip down, and then if it's difficult to bring that hand-to-hand fingertip clasp, then we open up the strap to help us do that. Okay, so it could be like this. I'm going to go like this. It's easier for me to clasp than hold the strap. So you see what works for you. As that right elbow tip is up. Now this is meant to hydrate dental floss for the shoulders. It's very deep for the shoulders. Then we're going to add on. Now this is supposed to be done on its own, seated, but we're going to add our warrior one to it. So the right elbow tip is up. That means the opposite. The left foot is going to come forward into our Virabhadrasana 1. This is a strong pose, of course. The right foot is out 30 degrees, and we're going to root down. Tailbone's drawing down, even though there's a natural arc in the lumbar. We're gonna lift the heart, inhale, and pulse with it as we affirm, I attune my will to the source of all power. So as I say in most classes, this is the heart of yoga, right? This is the heart of the psychological inquiry, of the subconscious pool, iceberg, if you will. We're bringing that stuff up and through, deepening the roots of the legs. I attune my will to the source of all power. Yeah, we're staying here a little bit longer. And we're burning into the body release. And then we're going to ease out, hopefully, of the belly dance arms. And then we're going to bring our hands down to the floor, rotate and spin off that back heel. You can use your block here. Twist the torso. And then stack the shoulders, add the mudra, thumb, index finger together. Exhale. So strong, several breaths here. Again, that twisting out of the unhelpful thoughts or thought, just pick one, okay? And it could have a constellation of people or situations around it, but it's an unhelpful thought. Twist it out. And then on the other side, we'll bring in, again, that more helpful thought. And you can also draw it and make a picture or create safety and, you know, something visual. Step it back. We're stepping the left foot back. We're adding 2 push-ups if you can. Half push-ups, pulse up. And then again, strength. And then hovering all the way down, unfurl the toes, 1 locust before we do full cobra. So palms face down, legs engaged, press through the tops of the feet. Inhale, up, recharging the spine. Exhale. Interlock if you can, or hands down like they were. Inhale. Press to the tops of the feet, shoulders away from the ears. Several breaths here. Yeah, this is why we want a smoothie before, not a breakfast before our class, right? Or lunch for some of you. All right, release. Before we do full cobra, let's take a moment of deep restoration. Tapping into the spiritual eye, softening the shoulders. Full yogic breath on our belly. You can bring in that more helpful thought. Notice the feeling. Visualize yourself behaving perhaps in a different way when we have a helpful thought. It's okay if nothing's appearing, but doing the practice itself will just continue to open up to our higher self, our deeper wisdom self. And moving the hands underneath the shoulders, we're rising up to meet this day, to greet it, open through the heart. Exhale, lion's breath, healthy boundaries, remember. A lot of people have struggled with that because they feel it's mean, but it's actually loving to have boundaries. Are helpful if it's too much of a stretch to feel loving. And then these touch down. We're going to go back to our rounded cat, walk the hands back. Exhale. Scoop it out. Now hovering the knees. Breath here. And pouring back, magnetizing the heart to the thighs. Calm energy radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Let's ripple through like a wave, rippling into plank for a moment, but then rippling back. One more of those. If you want to add a half push-up, you're welcome to, or you can simply ripple back. And we step it, once we're down dog, we step one foot forward, then the other, take a moment in Uttanasana, relaxing and casting aside any unnecessary mental burdens. Funky feelings. Release them through the movement and the awareness, the breath practice, and bending the knees in our chair. And we'll bring them in. Pulse, more helpful. Thought, and ultimately return to the truth of who we are as we rise up. Before we go to the other side, we're going to take inventory here. We're going to just get into our mountain pose. Through the top, so belly, heart, crown, inhale. We know this crown, heart, belly, feet. But we remind ourselves, returning to what we know. We go out, we can come back in and definitely realign to our highest truth. Meditations and practices. Obviously, yoga is a practice for you if you would be here. And we're going to go into the Gomukasana to the other side. So we'll have our right arm underneath us. So you may, this probably is going to be a different story. You may need the strap. You may be able to clasp. The left elbow tip is up. A lot. Okay, and if it just doesn't work, I mean, you can do a classic with the arms. I forgot to say that, but always modify it. Okay, and our right foot is coming forward. Once we get the arms situated, and it's a warrior one. So we're tracking that right knee over the second toe, physical alignment, left hip forward, rooting down, and attuning, lifting the heart. I attune my will to the source of all power. Several pulses here with the affirmation, with a more helpful thought. If you're working on something specific, I attune my will to the source of all power. So as I've said many times, taking an affirmation, working with it throughout your day. Or that imagery can just bring us right there. Okay, if you feel complete and strong, we unravel the arms, belly dance arms. We reach up and then come forward, and using your block if you want, or your revolve twisted lunge, spin off that back heel, twist from the belly, chest. Again, that's squeezing, unsticking the heart, okay? And other areas of the body as we ease down, add mudra. And replacing with a more helpful thought, more balanced thought, and attunement. Attune my will to the source of all power. Feeling sensations, lots going on here. And then slowly coming down. Bringing your hand inside, one flow through as we step back into plank. Here, Chaturanga, you just chin if you want, take your pace, see what works for you as you rise up. Lion's breath, open to the crown. Watering our lotus petals of the chakras in the right direction, nourishing them so they're upward. And then we take rest in prayer pose. So knees are wider than the hips. You can rest on a block or a bolster or blanket. You just hear the sound of your breath. Just getting used to that comforting, the great comforter of the oceanic sound of the breath. Knowing that in itself is returning to the unlimited pure being, the true who am I, versus a separate limited ego doer. So allowing what's here to be here, allowing the divine to flow through us as we come up. I wanted to take the blanket and do a half bow pigeon series. So we have time. I'm going to bring the blanket underneath the knee. And if it's too hard to grab that back foot, do some pulses the opposite like this. Okay. If you can, bring that left foot calf reaching underneath and grab the inner arc. This may not be accessible for everybody, so do that other movement. If you can do the half bow here, back then, it's a balance, okay? Even though we're on one knee, one hand, it's still balancing. Working with those opposites, right hand, left foot, staying with it as you feel all back bends are energizing or opening. And if you're not, that's not accessible, keep going with the flow here. Now bring the hand down, burn, turn the toes of the left foot under, burn into that left calf. And we're gonna just switch it by circling the hips a little bit. In fact, let's do this one, feet flat, and then really get that movement. If your knees are okay. A couple times one direction. All right, couple times another. And switching. So we're going to bring your right foot, so reaching underneath and clasping with the left hand if possible. Okay, so that opposite half bow, lifting the heart. I forgot to turn those toes under. You can keep them flat. This side's definitely more the challenge for me. If this is too much, you bring the left elbow tip to the right knee and extend several pulses, or you could even do a combo if holding this and breathing is too much. Yes, we're opening up. And those scattered forces that pull us in all different directions, consciously and subconsciously, we're recharging our spine, coming back into the center of our spine and the upper chakras. Okay, real key principle. Releasing, burning into that right calf, pressing through, and prepping. We're going to do a pigeon series here. Ekapada Raja Kapotanasana, lifting the tailbone up, treading it out, coming into three-legged dog, meaning inner borders of the feet together. Right leg lifts up. Open, we're looking for that right armpit a little bit. Yeah, if this is available in your practice. And then bending that right knee to the chest. And then through the hands, or between the hands, I should say. And sliding that back foot so we're on top of the left knee. And we can, if that right cheek is up, we can use a blanket or a block to stabilize. But let's take our time here. Let's come down right away. Shimmy, shake the heart open. Oh, okay, good. Flatten that back foot if that feels good to you. And we're going to ripple down, deep hip opener here. First we get the heart opener, and then the hip openers happen all the time in this pigeon pose. Stacking your hands and relaxing. Again, the mind does, of course, go into future and past quite a bit. But can we relax into this present moment, the eternal now? Soften the shoulders, resting, and the eternal now. Listening to the sound of your breath. And so coming back up at home, and your own practice, you can linger longer. And of course, that's my understanding of Eckhart Tolle's main message is in this present moment, are we okay? And we can just, and you know, most often we are. And then sometimes if we're not, we, of course, we need to take action. We need to do something, but more often just rest in the eternal now, in this present moment awareness. We've heard it. and we're going to have this more peaceful experience because that's our natural state. Okay, turning that back toe under. And lifting up and switching, treading it out. A little weird. Easing side to side. Inner borders of the feet together. You guessed it, the left leg is going to lift up into three-legged dog if possible. Gently lift underneath that left armpit. I just love the glistening of the raindrops on the, all the plants and trees up there. Moisture as we bend the left knee to the chest, coming through in our pigeon, sliding the back leg back, coming on top of that knee, shimmy shaking, side to side. Okay, so we get the heart lift, and then we allow ourselves to melt forward. If you want more intensity, you walk this foot forward. That's going to open that hip flexor even more. Knowing that within every breath lies infinite power, that power to return to this present moment. Softening the shoulders, resting at the spiritual eye, resting the upper chakras, breathing there. Resting in the eternal now. Releasing. When the thoughts of past and future come up, they will. We rest in the eternal now. We rest in the prefrontal and the spiritual eye. The back of the neck, remember the medulla, that ego self, like it's all jammed and locked up. In the yoga practice, we're naturally allowing that energy just to pour through the center of the brain into the spiritual eye. So the practice itself is going to do that, and then we affirm what's happening with our conscious mind to help counter that subconscious terrain as we rise up now.
Who knows, maybe one day in science they'll figure, you know, how much we're really living in that subconscious muck. But our job is to keep the energy going upward, keep into the central channel, into the higher chakras, and when we're in the lower, do the work around it, processing with kindness, with compassion. Turn that back toe under, okay? Lifting up, one more down dog. Ease it out, tread it out. If you want to ripple, you can ripple. Maybe a little bit of a wave versus a big wave. And we're going to come on to our back. So we're going to step one foot forward, then the other. We're going to come into a squat in transition. And rock and roll again. If you want a blanket underneath you, do that for our bridge cool down series. That's time. Rocking and rolling. So our balance pose today was on the knee and that half bow, not a classic stand balance. So as we rock and roll, release the tension out, and then we come down all the way and hugging the knees in and just easing side to side a little bit, ironing out the back body. Now for bridge pose today, because we're, you can use a block, you can bring one over, or you can just do the classic bridge. Nice if you have one. Large toes turn in, plug in the spine. Inhale, lifting the hips up. And again, depending if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, you do the lower bridge. Okay, Pilates bridge. If your spine's okay, you're rocking and rolling, you could take that block and place it underneath the sacrum, or just stabilize. The hands can reach. This is strong. Chin naturally curves, draws into the hollow of the throat. Legs are active, even if we're on the block. Energize. In fact, lift the heels up. Lift the heels up. We're working with every thought or the unhelpful thoughts, okay? Every thought that would be too much. We catch the unhelpful thoughts and we're replacing them. More balance, more helpful thoughts. We're writing those down. I'm repeating the theme today, lifting the toes. Or drawing a picture about it, or seeing an image like the cats that kind of describe where we want to go. Okay. These are thoughts to return us. Those will shift the feelings. And if there's behavior change, that'll need to shift. We'll have to ask the deeper question, do I like my behavior when I have these unhelpful thoughts? That's when it gets really sticky, but we could work on that. Rocking side to side. We're going to end with that windshield wiper twist. Knowing we have tools to change it is so key. So key. And the practices of yoga, meditation, chanting, karma yoga, service, the energy that we do with whatever we're doing. And you know, I have the arms out to the side. Oh, yeah, that I start out with that intention and we forget and we come back. Sometimes I have at my office a heart of rock, a heart that's stone, and I'll hold it. And that reminds me of staying in the heart. So that object can be very helpful as well. Sweeping
the left arm up and over. Divine life is within me and all around me. Divine life is within me and all around me. Really feel the opening of the physical heart. Emotions coming and going like waves. But returning to the depth of presence of being, already whole, already free, already aware, pure awareness. Engaging the core. Lifting the hips. So remember, there's witnessing awareness. That's a stage in the I-Rest, integrative rest protocol, yogic sequence here that I draw from as well. Heart open. Now we're witnessing our body. We're just notice we're in our body, right? Absolutely, of course. And then, but then we're stepping out with, okay, yeah. There's a hip thing going on. Bringing the shoulder, the arm up and around. Witnessing awareness. Adding affirmation to pure awareness. Divine life is within me and all around me. And you may not feel that's absolutely true, even though it's absolutely true. So you can just allow yourself to, okay, well, maybe it's relatively true for me right now. I'm working toward that. Divine life within me and all around me. As I engage the core, adjust, hug those knees in, I'm gonna do a happy baby, but notice for you, if there's one last pose you wanna do, or either during our restoration of Shavasana, or just on its own. So I know some of you, that's lovely to do half shoulder stand with the legs up the wall, Supta Baddha Konasana, with the bolster or without, or whatever variation works depending on your body. Or deep. So it's rest for the physical body, but as I say, it's a corpse pose. We're dying, we're softening this ego self that's so used to running the show. It's a lot of it is pattern conditioning, and we're taking stages now of releasing all that pattern conditioning and the muck of some conscious feelings and thoughts, and we're just allowing everything to flow and rising up to our higher truth and higher awareness in the upper chakras. Okay, so I'd like to put on water break time. Eye bags, of course, or blanket, things that bring a deeper sense of comfort to your being. Okay, settling in the body and the breath. Depending where you're positioned, if you're in a half shoulder standing, well, you may be able, if you're supported, to ease the head gently side to side. Feel what's right for you. And part of these stages of integrated rest is a body sensing, or a body scan, if you will. Notice how your body's feeling now.
Inviting the eyes to relax deeply, eyelids getting more heavy, the jaw to relax left and right. And a gentle, as you inhale, feel the cool air through the nostril, a gentle focus at the spiritual eye. Keep that gentle focus as the warm air cascades out of the nostrils. Pause, natural pause. The end of the exhale, letting go more the unhelpful stuff. I'm going to keep being aware of the breath. What is my breath like right now? Can I allow it to be more deep and relaxed? If it's tense, or shallow, or forced, can I soften and allow that natural flow to happen? Breath sensing. Especially in the belly, let it expand, and especially in the heart, opening and letting go. And just notice if there's a sense in terms of feelings, if you feel perhaps a lightness, or is there a heaviness or a combination where your back could feel more heavy and supported, and your front body perhaps a little bit more light. And go into the stages. Notice what emotions are here. Breathe into it, maybe name it. Or maybe there's a combination. If you're on the difficult emotions, you can allow it to be here. Say insecurity, but then also we want to move to its opposite. Times of security and peace. And the imagery associated with security, safety, a place in nature, a place in your home, peace, calmness, or object, or animal. And breathing both together, coming back to the central channel of the spine. Belly, heart, crown. Letting security wrap around insecurity. If that's an emotion that came up, working with the opposites, the other side bigger, the more helpful side bigger than the difficult emotion. And returning to the Anandamaya kosha, that inner smile or sense of well-being, the joy kosha. Notice what brings you happiness and joy. Letting the arms relax, the legs relax more deeply, being aware of sensation and the hands left and right, feet left and right. The space within the body and the space all around you. And connecting to that witnessing awareness, that part of you that is capable of witnessing, observing your experiences, your body, your breath, your feelings and emotions, stepping into witnessing awareness. And then the jewel, the gold, pure awareness. Can I connect to that innate aspect of myself that is already at peace, already whole, already at ease? No matter the circumstances, can I return to pure awareness? Innate sense of well-being. And if you've drifted off and want to return to gentle movement, you're welcome to. If you're in a deep state of interiorization and don't want to move around, feel free to stay there and rest and digest, listening to what you need. Loving compassion into your experience and feelings, and thoughts, and slowly coming up. If you are coming up, and you could stay lying down and send healing sound to others as well. So visualizing others, this is where we use vibrational sound energy, the ah, the oh, the sound, to send prayers of care to others. So visualize them with the spiritual eye. And just notice who you'd like to send that healing energy to. And it could go from the immediate friends and family to a larger group, colleagues, nation, and the world. If you choose, we're going to rub our hands together. Let the sound come from the heart as you inhale, 3-syllable sound. Go at your own pace, inhaling. And bringing the hands into Namaste, acknowledging that divine consciousness within you, within everyone and everything. That's where we are one, as we bow to the wisdom of our hearts and let it lead the way, coming back to our heart and the upper chakras to release the stuckness of negative subconscious soup. And we can lead that this is the heartfelt tool of yoga to bring us back to our peaceful life's journey. So I'm going to let those people, I'm going to end the recording, and those who want to stay on and check in, you're welcome to. I completely understand if you're easing out and going into your day.